It's about the way she moves. I can't figure it out. Something about her. Ooh, it's something about young woman who wants you but don't need you. I can't figure it out. Something about her. She walk like a boss, talk like a boss, and you and them looking better your heart. She's like half of it is what it is. She move like a boss, she got me thinking about getting it wrong. That's the kind of girl she got around me. That's why I love her. It's in this moment. Won't you come and spend a little time? She got around me. That's why it's in this moment. All the way from the shine. There's something about everyone that I can do for herself. I look at her and it makes me proud. Something about her. Something those that be back. I don't even need my help. Something about her. She work like a dog, play like a dog. Already feel like a million more. And feel the pain on her. She made more totally. They feel like she coming to me now. As the girl that's on the mind. She got a home. Hey, that's why I love her. Won't you come and be a little cloud? She got a home. That's why I love her. Her favorite thing to say, don't worry. And everything she got, best believe she thought it. She gon' steal my heart, ain't no better. You're everything I need. You're everything I need. That's what I'm I've been waiting just to take it down. I told my partner, yo, maybe when she come around, I'ma turn that body up. Anytime she walk in, she cut her body up. Time to time again. It's pretty in the club. She know what's up. She know she cold. Body like drugs, and I need another dose. Baby, putting on the show. No matter how much she do, I want some more. She got class with that when she hit the floor. She know, oh yeah, she know. Remix from the front to the back, from her head to her toe, to the top. Why she do it like that? Why she do it like that? 'Cause she know, she know, she know, she know. She aware that I'm watching, so she can put on a show. She can put on a show. She look back at me, she drop. She look back at me, she drop. 'Cause she know. Wake you up with some breakfast in bed. I'll bring coffee with kids running bed. I'll take the kids to school, wave them goodbye. I'll drink my lucky stars, watch at night. I'll over your shoulder, that I'm a fool. I want the night to be right now. About the summer, I like that every day you get better. You just make me feel this way. Too hard to a baby. It's been a long time since I've seen that face. Oh, that pretty little baby. Let me wrap my arms around you and never let go. Love me unconditional. I want you. Just let my heart go. I'm gonna love you unconditional. I want you. Hello. Hello. In an industry built on image,
dark-skinned women, especially men, get overlooked. It's always about light skin, but it's like I'm always fighting this uphill battle just to be seen and valued.
2 plus-size models,
body positivity, but then they're stuck on this mindset of what is the right kind of plus size.
You know what, Lauren? I'm light-skinned. Yeah. When you factor in my shape, it erases and debunks any type of privilege they think I might have.
take a fearless stand against their fashion agency's colorist agenda.
Beauty has no shape nor shade, and division has no place in our community.
But a long-buried love triangle threatening to unravel their hard-won sisterhood.
I've been thinking about how everything been going down recently, and I blamed you. I was wrong and know that I regret that. But there's something else you need to know.
Who the hell is this? Get my lady hot!
Raw, rebellious,
It's me. Where are you?
Don't you feel safe with me?
and unapologetically bold.
Damn!
Sean's done with me. Sean's done with me. I don't know what to do.
Full-Figured Flings is a fierce, emotional ride through betrayal, identity, and the high cost of truth.
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? I am so excited to be with you on this side. And look, I'm on multiple sides because I'm here with you on Epic. I'm here with you on Instagram. I'm here with you on Facebook and YouTube. And I brought you a new girl tonight. Her name is She Lux. That's what we're going to call her. So, guys, welcome back to It's Consulting Time, back to the basics. I am your host for tonight, Lily Mae.
And I am Angie. Tonight's conversation is going to be one that touches culture, language, identity, and representation.
Ooh, culture, language, identity, and representation. All right, guys. So tonight, listen, all week long, we have been asking a question that shows up everywhere, okay? Whether it's in social media, fashion, entertainment, or simply in everyday conversations. Are the terms used to describe full-figured bodies empowering or offensive? Because depending on who you ask, words like curvy, plus size, BBW, and tonight's conversation about super plus size can either feel affirming or limiting. So tonight, we're breaking it down and we're talking about how these labels influence representation, visibility, and even opportunity.
And we definitely want to hear from you all, especially our audience tonight. We are so ready to we are ready to have you guys participate. See, I'm so excited. I can't even talk. We're going to have some polls posted. We're also going to have some discussion questions. So we definitely want you to chime in. If something is said that sparks something, type it in the comments and we will try and respond.
That's it. And guys, as always, share the live, share the live, share the live. So I'm over here sharing it out. So if you see me looking at multiple devices, I always tell you I got 11 devices going over here. But just to give you a little recap, on Sunday, we talked about curvy and we asked the question, is it a compliment or a code word? And then on Tuesday, we talked about BBW or plus size and we talked about the difference. So let's start with the term curvy real quick because this term has become extremely popular, particularly in film and entertainment. Well, social media for real. So for years, curvy has been used as a compliment. But the question is, what does it actually mean? Because on social media, especially platforms like your Instagram, your TikTok, your OnlyFans, and in your Tubi movies, the term curvy often gets attached to a very specific body aesthetic.
Right.
What you
We
think?
are we see a very particular body type promoted. It is that slim waist, full hips, big breast, and let's be real, that BBL.
Huh?
Just saying. But that body shape is still relatively close to mainstream beauty standards.
Which raises an interesting point. Is curvy actually inclusive, or is it a more socially comfortable way to describe certain bodies while excluding others? Because y'all know in my mind, I got a natural BBL. Because the reality is, many full figure bodies, such as myself, don't fit the hourglass shape. And when they don't, sometimes, depending on what your experience has been, depending on how you feel about your body, those individuals that don't fit that aesthetic can feel invisible within the same community.
Okay, it's time for an interactive poll. All right, audience, we want to hear from you. Is the term curvy empowering? If you think the term curvy is empowering, type yes in the comments. If you say it can be limiting, type no in the comments. And if you're kind of on the fence, you think it varies depending on the person, time, place, type it depends in the comments.
Let's see what the people saying. Let's see what the people saying, because we got them over here on Instagram too. So we got to see what they saying. I'm gonna try to catch all y'all tonight. I'm trying to catch all y'all comments tonight. All right, guys. But tonight, before we even get into the conversation about BBW versus plus size, and we'll read your responses as they come in, we want to bring out a spectacular guest, and we're going to leave the question up because we want you to continue to communicate, but we are going to bring out an amazing guest, okay? This young man is super duper dope. He's fun, he's interesting, and he's just an all-around amazing guy. So guys, let me bring out Mr. Timothy Shizmar.
Is that people applauding? Is that their applause?
Yeah.
Adorable.
What's up, Timothy?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Angie. Hello, Lily Mae. It's me. It's him. It's TIM. I am coming from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm fascinated by the topics and what we're going into tonight. So I'm happy to chime in and give my little 2 cents.
Well, you have a lot. And Tim, what I want you to do first and foremost, because you are a spectacular individual in the entertainment space. And we're not going to go there first because, that's what the people want to hear about. But we're not going there first because Tim is much more than what he does in the entertainment space. So, first and foremost, I want you to introduce yourself. And then Angie and I have a couple of questions for you. Then we want you to turn up on what you do in this film and entertainment space.
Okie dokie. Sure. I work in entertainment. I sold my first screenplay in 2005. I sold my first TV show in 2010. I've been a film director, writer, producer, actor, stand-up comedian, headliner, passed at the Improvs. I've done award-winning books. I've been a ghostwriter for celebrities. I've done so many things at the same time to avoid having a regular job. And I've done comics and comic books and panels, and I've been nominated 5 times from Film Threat for my movies, and I won last year, and then I won the year before. So that's where I met Lily Mae, was on the red carpet when she was doing her interviews. And myself and I produced the movie that ended up winning, and our director, Mark Savage, was there as well. We both talked to her, and so I'm also on the side of the entertainment stuff. I'm a body positive activist for nudism, for naturism, for body positive, clothing optional spaces such as resorts, hot springs, beaches, nude runs, clothing optional bike rides, etc., etc. So I could not be more invested. I'm a lifetime American Association of Nude Recreation member, the Naturist Society magazine. I'm editing their upcoming issue. Southern California Naturist Association. I'm a nudescaster for Clothes Free TV. We do the naked news, basically. Podcasts. I mean, I'm a very busy cat, and I have a lot of things going on all the time, and it's very exciting. And some of the movies I've done have a naturist theme to it. We did Naked as Created, which is a true life story about a nudist pastor, and we could get into that. I'm in post production on Naked
we
Alien
are, because I
Massacre,
thought
which
you
is
were gonna be naked.
nudist monster movie.
I thought you were gonna be naked.
Well, right now, I mean, I would. I can.
I was going to strip, like I was going to take my shirt off with you. I literally,
Great.
I was like,
okay, you want to?
I wanted people to say, okay, we're doing this. We're doing it. Okay, let's go, Tim. Yeah. Well, look, you know I want to be all. That's right.
Woohoo! Always. Anytime. Always.
So, guys, you heard Tim say a lot. Now, tonight, we're talking about super plus size, right? Now, what society says is that any man that wears an extra large or larger is plus size. Then they go into super plus size. Now, this is interesting, Tim. Would you believe there's no size for men that are super plus size? Super plus size only seems to reference women that wear a size 30W or higher. And I think that double standard sucks. But whatever, we're going to get into some fun because Angie has a couple of questions for you, and so do I. Angie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Absolutely.
As you can see, I'm the calm to her crazy.
Oh, but, yeah. Look, you know, we're going to show some.
Too funny. All right, up first, Tim. Do you think plus size men experience body visibility and acceptance differently than women? And where do you see the biggest double standard?
Okay, now, I'm not a woman. I can't speak to all the women issues from the guy's perspective, and I'm open to having this conversation. There may be nuance. I'm not saying there's a right and a wrong, but it seems like men get away with being funny, having a bigger personality, and that covers the physical more than women. It seems to me that women are held to a standard of, is she, by the way, do you guys openly swear on this? Can I swear?
We can.
Okay. So it seems like society puts women in a, are they fuckable or are they not? And guys, it seems like they have more of a, is he funny? Is he clever? Is he creative? Is he a hoot to be around? And is he fuckable? So it seems like there's more of a spectrum for guys to get over with our personalities than being objectively attractive. And it seems like women are held to that standard a lot of the time, where it's like, how hot is she? Would you say that's fair?
Oh, I agree. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that about men having big personalities. Because if a woman, a plus size woman that comes through with that big personality, yes, it makes her easily get into that friend zone that probably takes her away from being fuckable, because now she's my bestie. Because I know she's gonna have my back, she's gonna be loud, her personality can be big in that space, but not as my woman space and public space. I respect that.
Ooh, Jamila said, speak, Tim, speak. Yes. All right. So let's get real with the real. So, guys, y'all know, well, y'all don't know, but people on here that know me know, I am a nudist. I love nudity. I love everything about my body from when I was over 400 pounds to now. I love to be naked. And that was one thing that when I met Tim, and then as we later talked to him, and he said, well, I'm a naturist, I'm a nudist. I said, I know that's right, because naked we was born into this world, and naked we gonna leave. So Tim, as a plus size male nudist and naturist, what was the moment you realized that your body wasn't the problem, but society's perception of the body was the problem?
Well, for me, it was in college. And by the way, I know you're going by, BBW. I am the BBP. I'm the big Brad Pitt, just so you know.
Yeah, okay.
Just so you know. So when I was in college, there were art classes where you could draw the models. And I immediately signed up for it because I wanted to have that bucket list experience. I wanted to be a model for an art class. And what I discovered was the people who were embarrassed or ashamed or shy wasn't me. It was the people in the audience. It was them. They were the ones that were nervous and shy and awkward. And I was very comfortable, very happy, very fine with it. And that's how I discovered it. Then later, a lot of people would tell me that, you must have so much confidence. And I couldn't imagine ever doing that. And what is the worst? What is the fear? I used to, in my stand-up comedy, I would talk about it on stage about, like, I have a mirror. I see myself, fat guy, man, boobs, small penis. Like, what is the thing that's supposed to suddenly shock me, right? What is that thing you're going to say that I didn't know going in? I feel like it's a total acceptance of who you are. Yeah, this is me. And it allows you to get past the textiles, the expensive clothes, the expensive rings, the expensive, I always try to tell people, here's the difference between like a nudist and an exhibitionist or whatever. When you go to a beach and they have people wearing swimsuits, what spaces are the swimsuits covering? They're covering the dirty parts, the naughty parts. And you notice how they're like bright neon green or bright neon orange, accentuating the parts you're not supposed to look at because they're so bad and so horrible. When you go to a nude beach or a nude resort, everybody is just regular and you get to see all sorts of shapes and sizes, and you look at them, you're like, oh, okay. And you move on with your life because it's not that big of a deal.
It's not. And it's not. Okay. All right. So Tim, guys, before we get back into talking to Tim, because baby, Tim I'm trying to tell you, he gonna school y'all tonight, because I want you to talk a little bit about those retreats and stuff. But let's talk about BBW plus versus plus size. So guys, these two terms are often used interchangeably, right? BBW and plus size. So I want you to understand the difference. BBW references the body structure. Plus size represents a fashion standard, okay? And they come from very, 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 very different places. If you were live with us on Tuesday night, you would know that the term BBW stands for Big Beautiful Woman, right? And it gained popularity back in like 1979. Carol Shaw had a magazine called BBW magazine, right? And so it was really highlighted by body positive communities that were pushing back against those, narrow-minded beauty standards. Now, over time, the term also became associated with certain adult and fetish spaces online, which complicated how people perceived it. And we talked about fetishization of women the other day. And so I'm not going to get into that too much, but Tim alluded to that a little bit, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But Angie, how does that contrast with the word plus size?
Well, I was just about to say that, knowing that that's what the term is defined as for BBW, the term plus size, it really identifies as just, it comes largely from retail or fashion industry spaces. It's a descriptor for clothing sizes in a certain size range.
Mm-hmm. And then, yep, that's when we get to that super plus. So, plus size is like Angie said, essentially a sizing category used in clothing, but it has also become an identification marker in fashion and media representation, right? But Angie, I think it's time for some more communication.
Okay. Our next question. And our next question, and this is one for I say it's up for debate. Is BBW or plus size simply a descriptive term, or has it become an identity? Ah,
Ooh. Okay, Tim, what you
okay.
think? As a man, do you think BBW is a descriptive term or has it become an identity?
Yeah, I think it's become an identity. I think if you say you're BBW, there's a whole lot of other social things that come along with it. It's like you're waving a flag for a side of the aisle, and you're now going to argue and debate these certain things. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even if it wasn't intended at the beginning, I think it's been co-opted into, if you say you're a BBW, then you got to believe all these other things that come along with it, which I'm not saying is good or bad. I'm just off the top of my head, that's kind of how it strikes me. And I want to go back to the thing I said earlier about the fuckability thing to really hammer it home. I want to ask yourself this. Nothing bothers me more than in society, it seems like women, when they hit a certain age, and I think it directly connects to how attractive they are, it's like they're disregarded in society. And that doesn't, their opinions, their thoughts, and that doesn't happen with men. When a man gets to be 85, 90, he's wise, he's enlightened. Let's hear what he has to say. You don't feel that same way about women. They are pushed aside. It's like, you can't have any kids, well then you're no longer useful to society. And that's the way I've felt for a
Okay.
long time. So I've always wanted to do some sort of reinvention of the Golden Girls, and I'd like to bring back, older women, that they still do have value. They are still great actresses, comedians, snarky, fun. The Betty Whites of the world, I want to show that they still do have value, because in my industry, I feel like they get pushed aside too fast.
Wow, y'all, if y'all just tuning in, it's back
I
to the basics. It's consulting
completely
time,
agree.
back to the basics with Lily Mae, Angie, and our special guest tonight, Tim. And Tim just spoke to the core of who and what back to the basics is, because over here, those are the populations that we cast. Those are the populations that we highlight. We don't just focus in on full-figured women, and men. We focus on older people, ABD, aged, blind, disabled. Those are the people that we would prefer to work with, simply because, and we say this all the time, and guys, we have to talk about this, because Full Figure Flings is all about inclusivity. It's about equity. It's about bringing awareness to colorism, shapeism, and sizeism. But guys, ableism is an issue. And the funny thing is, when you get to talking about larger people, you start to talking about ableism, because contrary to popular opinion, a lot of times we do find a lot of disabilities within our community, okay? Simply because we know not all the time, but with weight comes joint issues a lot of time, regardless of how athletic we are. I am a living witness. I have horrible osteoarthritis from years of being morbidly obese and being an athlete. So, we have to talk about these things. And these are the things that we highlight over here. So, Tim, I'm with you 100%. Let's make it happen. Funny thing is, shout out to Tiffany Michelle, shout out to Angel Moore, shout out to Jemiah. But Tiffany actually has crafted something similar to the Golden Girls, and it's surrounding 4 women on a bus. And the irony is that they are really turned up women, and they use a church bus to do their business. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but we've been working on that behind the scenes. So I definitely want to dive into that. And I love that. But guys, in the comments, is BBW or plus size simply a descriptive term, or has it become an identity? Miss Angel Moore says she agrees with Tim. It has become an identity. Angie, what do you think?
I'm on the same wavelength. It has become an identity that people aspire to in some senses, hence the surgeries, the BBLs, the breast augmentations, because it's not cute to be natural thick because then you're gonna be plus size. But if I'm shaped a certain way thick, then I can be identified as BBW, and all the stigma and popularity and attention that comes along with that, I'll have it. So I'm gonna say it's becoming an identity for people.
Hey, I'd like to go back to something you said earlier on. By the way, I'm being a good guest. I'm writing down notes. So if we ever do things that I've got notes about stuff you've already said that I want to follow up on. One of them was Curvy. So you mentioned Curvy being empowering or limiting. I, to the best of my knowledge, can't think of a bad way for Curvy. How is Curvy used in a negative way?
So, all right. So we actually talked about this on Sunday night. So basically, the way and we went to Chaim. Oh God, Lord, his name is crazy. I'm gonna butcher it. Heinous Litmus. He did a study, and basically what he was saying is that the word curvy has been used to kind of segmentize big women, full figure women, not so shapely women from the Instagram model population. So basically, you're curvy if you got a big booty, big thighs, a cinched waist, and big breasts. Okay, you're structurally BBW when you fall in line outside of that.
Yep. Okay, but curvy's a good thing, right?
Well, it depends on who is referencing it. So okay, and we haven't talked about shapes and proportions. So basically, say you're casting for a curvy woman, right? Now, your definition of curvy may be me and Angie. Someone else's definition of curvy may be what I just said. So you're casting for this particular role and you're saying, no, you're not curvy. No, you're not curvy. So it's a preference thing. But sadly, society and social media has embraced the term curvy to reference that hourglass shape characterized by BBLs, big titties, and a cinched waist.
And yeah, I'm thinking of Elvira. I'm thinking of Vampira. I'm thinking about like when you say curvy, I'm thinking like boobs, butt, you know. Yeah. Okay.
So I was just going to chime in, and we had talked about this last Thursday, just kind of in the fashion industry, when it comes to a lot of these runways, and this is where curvy can kind of be seen in a negative light, because designers make fashions for these runways for the most part, they're size 0 to a size 2. You're not gonna find a lot of curvy to fit into that category. And we kind of talked about how America's Next Top Model was the big show. It kind of gave people inside or backstage look into the fashion industry, and a lot of those models, I think, that were bigger than 0 to 2. I think it was season 10 winner, Whitney, was a size 6. And even as a size 6, they had to sometimes put 2 ensembles together of what the designers would bring to these fashion shows to accommodate her. And they considered her plus size and curvy. So a size 6? What? So in that connotation, so I guess coming from the fashion industry's vantage point and for designers, curvy could kind of be a negative light because not all designers are embracing models bigger than a size 1 or size 2.
This is why it's so important, the work that Lily May is doing by showing different bodies in general. Like, there's nothing more annoying than seeing Hollywood crank out the same images again and again. And that's with, people in disability, like in chairs. one of my closest friends in the world is a little person, and she gave it her all in Hollywood for years. She wanted to be taken seriously as a comedian and an actress. And I don't even have to tell you, all she ever got to audition for was Leprechaun, Gnome, Ewok, Troll. And she's like, why can't I be the best friend? Why can't I be the lead? Why can't I be the love interest? Why do you got to put me in this box? And I just feel like it's really ignorant. So anybody who doesn't look like a stereotypic, the world isn't like that. Go outside, look at people. Everybody's different shapes, sizes, tall, skinny, short, little, disabled, blind. This is how we look. This is how we are. So it would be nice if the entertainment that we watched followed in that pursuit, and we had a variation. So,
but Tim, I think you said something. Do you remember? And I cannot think of the movie. It was a movie at Film Threat, and the gentleman that was in the wheelchair. Remember? I think he was the love interest, and I was so it brought tears to my eyes because I looked at Dominique and said, "Yo, this is the space we're supposed to be in. These filmmakers are making films about things that actually matter." Things that truly uplift and inspire people to do something outside of the norm. And nobody's doing what the people at Film Threat were doing. That's when we knew we were in the right place.
You know what? I know your heart's in the right place, but I'm going to take you to task. Some of my disabled friends get pissed off when somebody says that they should be inspiring to other people. They don't even want to do that. They want to be an asshole. They want to be the bad guy. They want to be the prick. Okay. Why should they exist to inspire you to get off your ass? Let them be a jerk. Let them be a villain. They don't even want to be typecast as teaching you a lesson. Go fuck yourself. They want to be a fully formed person. They can be bad and snarky and the villain and just the most evil shithead in the world because they're a person playing a part, any part. They just want to be free to exist just like we are. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna give you an example of a time where I learned a lesson. I had a complete paradigm shift. There was a movie, I'm sure we could Google it and find it, but it was one of the leads was a man who was disabled and he could only use his head. So it was one of those, like paraplegic, quadriplegic, like, kind of roles. And it ended up going to the guy from Breaking Bad. So William Cranston, he played this part. And it pissed off all these disabled actor groups, and they were all complaining about it. And I didn't agree with them at the time. I said, he's the bigger star. He's an actor. Why shouldn't actors be allowed to play whatever the hell they want? Until I listened to their side of the argument. And their side of the argument is this able-bodied guy can play a whole spectrum of roles. How often does a lead come along that they could actually? So if you are a trained actor who is a paraplegic and you don't even get a chance to be possibly the best person for this role because he's a celebrity, so he could pretend to be disabled, it completely changed my mind about it. So that's why it's important to gain all the information on all the sides, because sometimes we go into it with an unconscious bias we didn't even realize we had. I thought I was the bigger man for being like, shut up, it's acting. You're allowed to act as whatever you want, but they can't. They are limited by their bodies. They can't play able-bodied parts. So at the very least, let them have a shot at the parts they can play. Shit.
Oh, y'all. Oh my God. Y'all, if you just checking in.
You did that. Like
tonight, we talking about tonight's topic, guys, is super plus size, but we're also talking about inclusivity. And Tim just shut the whole thing down. Like, Angie, the level of unconscious bias that we have, and we don't even realize it because we're taught to, we're taught to protect people that are different than us, protect vulnerable populations. And when you come from a helping profession, that's just what we're taught. Protect vulnerable populations, right? Protect children that have been, disenfranchised by whatever. Protect individuals that are disabled, right? That's the place we come from. But Tim, now that you really think about it, I noticed that a lot of people, and even if you think about older people, Angie, they'll be wanting us to help them for real. Like, think about our grandmas and aunties. They'll be wanting us to help them get up off the couch for real. They will, how they do that rock. They will do that rock until they can get up. And I'm just thinking about it. He's right.
He is. And I'm thinking in that space, they want it to be equitable. Don't give me an opportunity to do what I can without treating me differently. You know what I'm saying? And
wow.
And you brought something to me because I never thought of it from that vantage point.
Yep. And you know what, guys? Let's just say this. Stop boxing us in just because we not built like Instagram models. We can be the love interest. And we can get our back broke just like anybody else. I can arch my back. It might not look like no apple when I arch my back, but to my man it do. So what you saying?
I would also like to encourage people who are auditioning for parts right now to show your personality and do not dim your flame to try to match with all these other people. I'll tell you an example. I was up for a commercial, and when I showed up at the commercial audition, I was in a room full of Ken dolls. These guys looked like they were surfers and they'd been working out all their life and they came from money and they had great teeth and blonde hair. And I very easily could have been like, I'm in the wrong room. I don't have a shot. I better get out of here. I did the exact opposite. And they brought us in groups to practice improv, like improvisation. And I dove right in to making fun of the guys about how everybody else looks the same. And like, what would you guys all come from a clone machine? You do look like Ken dolls. And I bet you have no genitalia either. And I just kept ripping and ripping. And they loved it. The casting people got it. I got 2 beer commercials and an ice cream commercial out of it because I showed I had personality. Yeah, I wasn't the hottest guy in the room. I wasn't the most attractive, but I'm the one who's going to crack you up, go where you didn't expect me to, add that extra bit of oomph. And these guys are resting on the fact that they're hot.
They look good. Oh, my God.
Yeah. They didn't know what to say. All they had for me was you're fat. And I was like, yeah, I know. I started with I'm fat. What else you got? No general boy,
Yo, Tim, it's so crazy.
I encourage people, show your personality, show what's extra about you, and that the world doesn't have to be all black and white. There was a question you messaged to me before the show starting, and it got me thinking about all those people who always say when it comes to nudists, it's the ones that you don't want to see naked who get naked. We're not exhibitionists. We're not putting on a show for you. We're not strippers.
We like to be naked.
We just want to be in the world. We just want to be alive. And most of the fears that people have about nudists, naturists, clothing optional, it's all in their head. They've never experienced it. I'll give you a great example. I don't know if you've looked up World Naked Bike Ride, but the World Naked Bike Ride in major cities all over the world, there are hundreds of people who get naked legally because it's part of a protest, and there'll be food trucks and music and body painting, and they'll ride through towns. They'll take over parks. If you don't believe me, take a second and Google it, World Naked Bike Ride. And when we actually go through the towns, those same people who claim that they're clutching their pearls and how the world's going to end because we're naked, you know what they're doing? They're laughing, they're pointing, they're giggling, they're taking pictures, they're having a ball. They're having a blast. They have a great time. Nobody's having heart attacks or the world's not coming to an end. It's entirely different than what you think until it's like anything else. You have these opinions until you get out there and you meet people, you know them. That's why Linda Weber, the president of the American Association for Nude Recreation, and so many more of us get out there and try to talk and be proactive, because we don't want to be gay people in the 50s where it's like, shh, I think there's something with Ted. We want to be like, we're nudists, because it's saying there's a weirdo, there's a freak, there's a pervert, he's a whatever. Instead, it's like, oh no, I know that guy. He's cool. He's my neighbor. He's the milkman. She's my sister. You know, we're out there. We're real. We exist. And it's not such a crazy, wild. Think about if God wanted us to be naked, we would have been born that way, right? We are literally adding on to what was already there, what is already perfect and made that way. And we got to throw these additional things on of shame and you better not see me naked or what? What's going to happen? And anyway, that's my soapbox. And I went on a
this is perfect.
Something out of that.
This is perfect. This is perfect. Gosh, this is perfect. Y'all don't understand. Like, this Full Figure Flings is about inclusivity. Guys, Full Figure Flings, the whole film was written because one girl was rejected from roles she was definitely qualified for because she did not fit the aesthetic. Now, granted, you know, Tim, I understand directors, you know, they have the aesthetic they're looking for. And I acknowledge that, right? When I'm casting, depending on the role, I know that there's, you know, I'm like, okay, I need this. But I do think it can be discriminatory.
And it can change. There are multiple movies. There's never one movie. In the beginning, I used to say there were 3 movies. There's the one you write, there's the one you cast, there's the one you edit. So if I write a movie for one perspective, and I had an actress in mind that I really wanted to play one of the leads, and for some reason she can't make it, and I replace her with somebody else, that changes the dynamic of the film. I'll give you a great example. I did it's on my screen here. I did a movie that involved like a devil character, right? And so in the original way the script was written, he was more of like your classic devil with like a red suit and a cane, and you know, he like Mephistopheles, right? Like trying to convince you to sell your soul for something. That actor wasn't able to make it. We had to place him out, and we put a former WWE female diva wrestler in that part. So in my mind, as the producer and the writer, I'm thinking, okay, she's playing the part. It's still the same character, but the director who we hired to do the project now suddenly wanted her to be more flirtatious, sit in the lap of the guy, do all this kind of like seductory things because she's this hot ex-wrestler. And he and I butted heads on set, which my argument was, you wouldn't have had him doing that. You wouldn't have had that guy being all flirtatious and all this. So it factors in to what you end up doing. So there's the movie you write, there's the movie you end up casting and shooting, and then there's the one in the edit where you chop it all up. So what I'm trying to say is, maybe that person who was producing it and putting it together did not have in mind the kind of person who walked in the door and blew everybody away. Now suddenly you're in a position where this movie is going to go in a slightly different direction because of who you have in this particular role. And these things happen all the time. We swap parts out. We change male to female or races, or, you know, the movie I'm in post-production on now, Naked Alien Massacre, we wrote the script in like 2012, and there was a lot of attitude black actresses at that time where talk to the hand and all this kind of. So we wrote this so that she would be an English, blue-blooded, posh Black woman who was well spoken. Like, she spoke better than anybody else in the movie. And then when it came time to cast it, we couldn't find somebody who could do that. So we ended up swapping things around, and then we had a Jamaican accent for a while, and this and that. But the point is, there's what you write, and then there's what you can put together, and never be afraid. You don't have to meet exactly what the producers are looking for, because sometimes they're open to you wowing them, you doing something above and beyond, and showing them just what you can bring to it and how different the movie is going to be because you're a part of it.
All right, so I'm gonna say this, and I know the people gonna get mad,
So
but y'all,
it's not like
they know I don't give a hot damn. But see, that's the difference between a filmmaker like yourself and ninjas with a camera that's just trying to do something. And I'm being real because, Tim, what I'm coming to realize is in this space, you need some type of training, whether it is from someone such as yourself, you know, your mentorship to us, whether it's like, you know, the Mr. You know, Jimmy Stars of the world, the Mr. Eric Roberts, and he definitely is a study in leadership with the way, you know, he has maneuvered. You know, people like that. Like, I legitimately think that these streaming platforms, YouTube, you know, YouTube is started now, Tubi. Everybody thinks they can just pick up a camera and shoot a movie. They don't understand development. The simple fact that you said that you started crafting Naked Alien Massacre like almost 15 years ago and you just really shot it last year, like, Tim, that speaks volumes. But see, I know the work. You taught me a lot about the work that you have to put in before you even start shooting. And I'm grateful for that. But you also taught me these things. Like, Tim was like, okay, Lily, you were naked in this, they blurred you out. There are other ways we can do this to make this nudity tasteful. So see, the fact that you are trained and you're knowledgeable about what you're doing is different. And you're not just trying to put out movies to say you're putting out X amount of movies. Y'all, when Tim put out movies, Tim putting out like $5 million movies. And I'm like, Tim, all I want is a $20,000 movie. Like, what you mean $5 million? What are we talking about? But guys, we're gonna bring it back real quick, and then we got another question for Tim. But we want to, as we begin to wind down, we're gonna move into the term of the evening that's increasingly being used more and more now. Is that super plus size? And the question that we pose tonight to you is, why the extra label? Like, why? Super plus size. Why the extra label? And the label generally refers to individuals who wear sizes beyond the traditional plus size range. But it's like, why does that extra category exist? Now, part of the answer lies in the industry sizing systems. And we get that. We talked about that the other night. We talked about the European sizing system, and we talked about how in Europe the sizes start really, really astronomical, but in the UK, they're just a little bit off from the US or whatever. But fashion brands did this for manufacturing and marketing purpose. But the reality is that many individuals in this super plus size range are facing limited access to clothing options. And that creates a deeper issue, accessibility. And that's a problem.
It is. And when you say that, it makes me, since I'm on the call with two movie makers. I think about the movie The Blind Side. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but there's a part in the movie where Sandra Bullock is at this clothing store, and she goes to the store owner and she says, "I thought you said this was big and tall." And the clothing store owner looks at Michael Oher and he goes, "He's bigger and taller." You know, so when I think about that, I think about that accessibility issue, you know. Yep. So some plus size, okay, up to 26, got you. But it's a struggle. The fashion industry claims that they are trying to be inclusive by using this categorization of super plus size.
Mhm.
But if you set up these ranges, you're
Mhm.
not truly being inclusive. And
Nope.
this is kind of as a, for me, I looked and I was like, okay, I know where I shop. I know what stores who carry super plus size and plus size. I know what stores I can walk into and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we don't have those sizes in the store. You got to order those online.
Yep.
So you got it, but I can't try it on.
Yeah. I shop at Destination XL for a lot of my stuff, so I'm shopping at the fat guy store.
So and
Let,
look, and
let
it's
me
so fun. Chris, excuse me, sorry, Tim.
oh
I was thinking, I was like, okay, if I'm struggling like this, so I was like, let me just Google what my guys are dealing with.
Yep.
Y'all options are limited too. It's like DXL, King. I mean, your options are limited too, and that's frustrating as hell. I'm just saying. Let me reel it back in.
yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask your opinion about something because Angie, because you mentioned The Blind Side, does it bother you at all? Times move on, perspective changes. A lot of times people look at movies like The Blind Side to fit the motif of the white savior, that this black kid needed the white family to save him. Did that bother you at all?
Okay, so I'm gonna be real because we keep it real. To
That's
me,
right.
it did not. And I'm gonna say everybody's upbringing is different. For me, I grew up in a community that was mixed races and mixed. I don't even want to say political, but politically, it was very
Mhm.
much mixed. I grew up in a southern town of Virginia, so you know where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
So I have always been around people who, and I've tried to view people as who they truly are. Like originally, I looked at that movie, heard the story. I'm like, okay, I don't look at him as a savior. Looked at the oars as, or excuse me, the
I know
Tuohys,
the oars.
the Tuohys. There we go. As saviors, I looked at them as people who want to do a good thing because that's what I want to do. If I see a situation, and everybody always, because I'm always helping, I want to help and do a good thing. Now, hearing all the additional stories and different things, is it? It frustrates me because there are still good people in this world who want to do good for people, and
Yeah.
because there are also assholes in this world who want to do good things, who want to do things for selfishly or for attention. It kind of makes it hard to believe that there are people that still want to do good things, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. I do. I think
Mm.
ultimately people are still good, but there are also some people who are evil. And because of that, it kind of makes people leery or makes people question people's intentions.
So Tim, so let me say this. Angie and I come from similar areas. I shout out to Danville, Virginia, the last capital of the Confederacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. All right. I'm gonna
And I
say
was
this.
30 minutes away. So
And yep, she
that's
was 30 minutes away. So I'm gonna say this, Tim. I'm gonna say it like this, and I know a whole lot of people get mad, but I don't care. And I want you to look in my eyes and read my lips when I say this. Tim, you saved us. We were working with people that we thought legitimately were guiding us and teaching us evidence-based practices, right? And as we embarked upon the journey to really do what we felt was right, we found that the journey that we were embarking upon was not just purpose driven, but it also followed the alignment of larger, production companies, right? Such as yourself, such as Paramount. Like we found that we were operating like them. We just don't have the backing that they have. And when you stepped in and gave us the information that you gave us, we were like, wait a minute. Why is it that everybody that's truly supporting us and really propelling us forward don't look like us? So unlike Angie, I grew up with parents that told me straight up, sometimes, your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. And I'm not afraid to say that out. Because in my experience in this entertainment industry, it hasn't been my experience that my skin folk are proactively supporting us elevating. It's more or less, let me stand by and attach myself until they elevate. And that's just not what I get from my counterparts. So I don't, white savior, I can't, I wouldn't, I don't think I would say that either. And it could be because Angie and I grew up in areas where we learned the difference, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I got another one to throw at you. I don't know where we're at on time, or if you have a hard out for any of this stuff.
Look, we got about 5 more minutes, so let's go before we play the trailer and close out. Let's go. We good.
Since the show is full figured, I got a question for you guys and ladies, and I don't know if you talked about this on a past episode, but I'm gonna lay it out there. There are shows on TV like My 500-Pound Life. My question to you, is that a self-help show to make people better, or is it another version of the old carnival sideshow and we're all having a chuckle at them? Is it help or hurting large body people?
Good question, Tim.
Angie, you want it?
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna get pissed off. Go on. I'm gonna mute my mic because I'm about to cuss.
I honestly feel like those shows are a catch-22. They are interesting because you're gonna look and you're gonna see, and you're gonna follow these people. But if you look at the number of people that after the show die, gain the weight back, or don't even complete the programs, I don't see it as self-help. I see it as entertainment. I see it because they're on probably season 900 at this point. So I feel like it's hurtful. Just like Monica in the comments, I feel like they are allowing themselves to be put on Front Street, and they may have gone into it thinking that they're going to be helped, but they're not. Because again, we don't get the follow-up with a lot of them on where they are now. Originally, it may have started out with the concept of, hey, let's see if we can help this area, this population. But I don't see the reality in that anymore. I don't. I see that it is capitalizing on a market, just like the fashion industry. Let me capitalize on this super plus size, because the people on My 600-Pound Life don't go to the stores because they're putting everybody in the same group. If they wear a size 6X, they don't go to a store, so we don't need to have them in the store. They can just buy it online. You know, again, they're capitalizing or trying to stereotype and capitalize. And that's what I'm going to say. Lily, go for it. Don't get mad.
So I think that it is a way for insurance companies to make money, because in the past decade, the numbers for bariatric surgery have gone through the roof. They are now doing gastric sleeve surgery on people that only weigh 200 pounds without comorbidities.
And children.
Absolutely. Tim, I think it is distasteful. I don't watch it. I might watch it if I'm at somebody's house and they watching, but I will not turn my TV to it because it's a joke. It is entertainment, and it is capitalizing on people, a lot of which cannot help themselves, and they don't tell the full truth of the matter. Why is it that all of the big people on those shows got nasty houses? Why? It makes me think that you put the house like that and then put them in it to perpetuate the stereotype that people that get real big just sit around, eat, don't clean, stinking, nasty all day. I think it
Plus,
is.
they're going after they're going after a lower economic level. So because they're getting paid a little bit by the show, so they need the money also. That's why, did you know they get a bump for the shower footage where they blur them out?
What?
Because they want to make it look even more like a, sideshow elephant or something. When they do the naked toilet and shower stuff, they get a bump in their pay. So that always doesn't sit too well with me,
Tim, guys, and if you don't know, Timothy has the Naked Pastor story, Jim Moore, right? Jim Moore. And Naked Alien Massacre will be coming out. I want you to tap into his journey. I want you to, pay attention to what he's doing. And Tim, over here on the Instagram side, Angel said, wow, like she's a very upset. She said she didn't know that. She's very upset by that. Her emoji, she's extremely upset by that. But Tim, that's why we need more people like you that don't mind making these films that celebrate nudists, naked, naturist, clothes-free bodies of all shapes and sizes. And yes, we definitely could do a full-figure ghost or goblin movie. I'm with you. Like, I think we could do it because I'm sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of it.
I can be an extra, maybe.
Girl, you can be the front show. Oh, Tim, we're gonna get her out there, okay? Tim, I didn't already tell you brought up. We going on the trip. We need to go on the cruise.
You brought up something to me about. Yes, speaking of cruises, I have a buddy of mine who wants to do a cruise in January that I may be a part of. So we may be able to be. What if we shot a movie on a cruise? What if we did some kind of a naked cruise movie or something?
That's what we want to do. We've been talking about that, Tim. We've been talking about that.
It could happen. And you brought up to me the disparities in casting of different shades of black, and that's something I'm more aware of now than I ever was before talking with you. And I want to go to the dark side. That is pretty awful that the lighter skin you are, the more socially acceptable you are for casting. Not everybody's Halle Berry. I'd like to go to the opposite end. Who are some great actors and actresses who don't even get considered because they're too dark in shade? That should be more highlighted. How come we don't hear anything about that?
And precisely why we addressed colorism, sizeism, and shapeism in full figure flings. Tim, let me tell you something. Listen, tonight we have explored some important questions about language and representation, y'all.
Words like curvy, BBW, plus size, super plus size, extended plus size carry different meanings depending on perspective, culture, and experiences.
The real takeaway is that language shapes how people see
and there's so much more we can get into later about people like.
So Tim, so this is what we need to do.
When you look at people like a Jonah Hill or a Rebel Wilson,
you coming like so.
Sorry,
so
we're missing each other. I think our.
It's fine, because this is what we got to figure out. So you coming back with us next week or what?
What day of the week is this? Thursday?
This is now next week. Now I'm gonna tell you, next week we might have to switch the day because I'm traveling on Thursday. So you tell me what works, and
I'll tell you where you should be traveling to. I have WonderCon next weekend. So I got my panels, I got my events, I got the movie screenings, I've got celebrities. I wish you could come to California and be a part of WonderCon.
Our premiere
I would give you both
weekend.
Oh,
the premiere is next weekend for Full Figure Flames, Tim. Oh.
All right. Well, we've got stuff going on, and we've got so much more in the future. We're going to make magic together. I know you're going to be on Naked Nudist and Naturist. You're going to be filming an episode of that. And
Okay.
I just sent you by messenger. We can't publicly say his name yet, but look at it.
Okay.
Look at your
Okay.
messenger right
All
now.
right, hold on. I'm
This
looking
is
right now. Wait.
all right. And you look at her reaction. We just cast a very famous black actor in the movie I'm shooting in Hawaii.
Okay.
And I think you're excited. Yes.
I think so.
So she'll share that with you after we're done.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm doing the biggest movie I've ever done in Hawaii in a few months here, and he signed, he's in. So we've got him and a bunch of other biggies. It's the biggest one I've ever done. You know, nothing is for sure in this business, but we're really close.
That's
And
all right.
as long as everything works out, we're very excited. So I thought you'd get a kick out of that. And
Oh
you can
my
see
gosh.
I practice what I preach. So
You do. And Tim, thank you. First and foremost, on behalf of Back to the Basics Production Management Group, on behalf of Angie and myself,
Yes.
Tim, thank you for everything, not just for tonight. Thank you for putting me in the space to win. Thank you for providing so many opportunities to do major things. Thank you for what you just sent me, because I know that that you always provide an opportunity for me to just be a fly on the wall. And sometimes that's all somebody needs. So listen, I'm locked in. So all I need to know is look, do I need to be nudist or do I need to be fully clothed?
right. That one's a mainstream. That one's not nudist, but I do a lot of nudist stuff. And the next time I come on, Angie, I want to hear a lot more from you. I don't know much about Angie. I want to get to know Angie next time.
Angie is behind the scenes, but okay.
Tim, thank you so very much. Guys, this has been an amazing conversation. Yes. The real takeaway tonight is that language shapes how people see themselves and how society sees them.
And maybe the most important question isn't what the label is, but who gets to define it.
Thank you all for joining us tonight for this fun, amazing, powerful conversation with Lily Mae, Angie, and Tim. And we bringing Tim back. Okay.
Yes. And let's continue the discussion in the comments. Send messages if you didn't get a chance, or if you catch on the live, we'll feedback just to see. Because this has been good.
Well, I am super duper excited. And guys, until next week.
Woohoo! But I'm clothed.
Until next time, guys, remember, we're always here to bring you joy, jewels, and justice. Take a look at the trailer, and we're signing out.
Good night.
In an industry built on image,
dark-skinned women, especially men, get overlooked. It's always about light skin, but it's like I'm always fighting this uphill battle just to be seen and valued.
2 plus-size models.
Positivity, but then they're stuck on this mindset of what is the right kind of plus size.
You know what, Lauren? I'm light-skinned.
Yeah.
When you factor in my shape, it erases and debunks any type of privilege they think I might have.
Take a fearless stand against their fashion agency's colorist agenda.
Beauty has no shape nor shade, and division has no place in our community.
But a long-buried love triangle threatening to unravel their hard-won sisterhood.
I've been thinking about how everything been going down recently, and I blamed you. I was wrong and know that I regret that. But there's something else you need to know.
Who the hell is this? Get my lady high!
Raw, rebellious.
It's me. Where are you?
Don't you feel safe for me?
And unapologetically bold.
Damn!
Sean's done with me. Sean's done with me. I don't know what to do.
Full-Figured Flings is a fierce, emotional ride through betrayal, identity, and the high cost of truth.